Bonjour, mes amis. Welcome back to my channel. As you have probably seen all the new trailers and clips for Silksong already, as well as lore breakdowns, I'm not going to be making a whole video going over every single nitty-gritty detail of it. However, I will be pointing out little things in the trailer that stood out to me. With that out of the way, let's begin. So to get right into the meat of this video, and to avoid any clickbait accusations, is it possible that Grimm is a spider? The new trailers have shown us 3 distinct moves that could support this hypothesis. The first is this little scurry move. Hornet, who is a half-spider, performs it when fleeing from this bell end here. Grimm, in a similar manner, performs this move when fleeing from this other bell end. We also see Hornet perform a drill-type attack as well as this uppercut. Grimm, in a similar manner, performs these moves when he is in the Dance of the Night.
Actually, these attacks are due to the presence of tools. Hornet, as a spider, cannot do these attacks, with the exception of the scurry dash, without aid. Furthermore, Team Cherry probably just recycled several elements of coding from Hollow Knight just to make development faster. Also, Hornet and Grimm don't look that all alike. Hornet has big, spiky spikes on her head while Grimm has these 2 little crests.
And this is why you were put in the closet. Now get. Anyways, there is some plausible evidence for Grimm to be a spider. First, Hornet and Grimm have different head shapes because they come from different lineages. Hornet is a mixture of the Pale King, whose other children are all characterized by rather spiky heads, and Hair the Beast, who herself has a rather spiky brow. This would most likely lead to a child with a head sharper than a buzzsaw. Grimm, on the other hand, is a creation of the Nightmare Heart. In case you don't know, at some point, the Nightmare Heart, itself a higher being, was exiled from the Dream Realm. We also know that certain higher beings are worshipped by certain species. Take the Radiants, for example. It was originally worshipped by the Mosh tribe, and is implied to be their main deity. I speculate that similarly, the Nightmare Heart may have been originally worshipped by spiders, albeit different ones from the ones we see in Hollow Nest. When it was exiled, it probably had to reach out to multiple different bug species, explaining why we see such a menagerie of insects following its call. It also has this patchwork appearance, with obvious stitch lines threaded across it. Spiders do produce silk, which could have been used as thread for this monstrosity. To wrap this theory up, I speculate that the Nightmare Heart may have been worshipped by spiders at some point, and after its banishment, it created Grimm, in the aspect of spiders to help keep its cult alive and feed off dying kingdoms. The main problem with this theory is the lack of evidence. All we really have to go off of is similar moves, none of which involve silk, which probably isn't the best basis for a theory, but it's fun, so I'm sticking with it. In case you didn't know, Team Cherry revealed in this 2020 Edge magazine article that Hornet would be able to make new tools based on the ones that she sees enemies using. In the trailer, we can see a bug drop their tool upon death. In that same article, she is shown to be using a similar tool. So we now know one way that Hornet might get tools. She simply kills an enemy and steals their weapons. But there might be a second way. If we go off the assumption that this tool is from these enemies, then Hornet may be able to kill an enemy, loot its corpse for resources, and then hike back to Forge Daughter so she can make a tool out of it. What I speculate is that this mechanic may also be used for crests. In the trailer, we see Hornet with his 3-pronged slash attack. We also see this mummy-looking insect with massive claws performing a very similar attack on Hornet.
But Ivory, Hornet has that crest equipped while fighting the creature. How is she supposed to make the crest out of its body parts if the thing is still alive?
And that is a valid question. Many have pointed out how this area looks to be some sort of haunted crypt or abandoned tomb. It could be that this creature was not unique, but rather one of many. Hornet could have found the decaying corpse of its brethren and simply committed a simple act of grave robbing. Even if this turns out to not be the case, I still think that this crest and this bug are related somehow. They just feel too similar to write off as a coincidence. One of the lore aspects of Hollow Knight that always interested me is the spider tribe. Midwife describes them as the most intelligent of species, and seeing as they're reluctant to have anything to do with the Pale King, I can't really say I disagree with her sentiment. The fact that they had sentience enough to create a functioning society without the Pale King further proves this. Hera's husband was described as one of honored caste, so they perhaps had some sort of powerful demi-being to help them. Seeing as the masks that many of the spiders wear seem to be extensions of themselves, it is unlikely that they gained sentience through mask maker. However, what most interests me about this civilization is how they view Hornet. Midwife describes her as a gift, and it seems that her existence was to continue the spider tribe's rule. However, this didn't really work out, as almost all the inhabitants of the spider tribe have become infected. And honestly, who would do something like that? What type of monster would just be given charge to take care of something, and then just leave it indefinitely, with no one knowing if they will return. Despite this, Hornet seems ready to take over a tribe. After you kill her mom, she says, "It's quite a debt I owed. Only in allowing her to pass, and taking the burden of the future in her stead, can I begin to repay it." This can be interpreted as Hornet taking the reins from her mother, so to speak. If Silksong is a sequel, part of Hornet's motivation to save the Weavers could be to recreate a similar spider tribe, and to repay her mother. If this is the case, I'm just gonna hope that she didn't inherit the Pale King's leadership skills. Last but not least, I want to talk about how this automaton may be getting power. In Hollow Knight, we pull for the crystal heart from what is said to be an old mining golem. The heart is used to power the golem to mine the crystals that grow in Crystal Peaks. In Silksong, we can also assume that this automaton is used for mining and industry, based on the fact that it is in the Deep Docks area. Since the Weavers managed to get from Farloom to Hollow Nest, it isn't unbelievable that they might have had trade at one point. Plus, the collapsed bridge in Hollow Knight must have had some purpose, right?
Welcome to the end of the video. If you like the lore, or just ask Jim, feel free to explore some of my other videos. With that out of the way, au revoir.